these stars tells you how bright they are. Now, if you go outside tonight and look up, if it's really dark and clear, you'll be able to see about 3,000 stars. That's about all we can see with just our eyes. Now, the moment you grab a pair of binoculars, you can look through binoculars and you can see, because they help you see more stars, you can see about 12,000 stars at one night in the evening, okay? So, with our telescope up here, we can see literally millions of stars because it has the ability to gather light. In other words, it's like a great big eyeball, an eyeball that can see lots and lots of light. And it takes all that light and puts it in a little tiny spot so that we can look at it. And that's what a telescope does. It concentrates light or brings lots of light into a small spot so we can see it. You got a question?
They're interested in themselves on TV.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, so that's a little bit of our constellation wall. Now today, because it's bright, do you guys think you can see stars during the daytime?
No.
Really?
I
Can you see the moon?
can.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to take you up here and we're going to show you the moon. You can see it without the telescope. But I bet you didn't think you could see stars. But we'll show you a star today.
So this will be very
The stars are always up there. The problem is that there's so much other light that their light can't shine through it. But our telescope can see the stars. So we're going to show you a really bright star called aldeberan today. And it happens to be right next to the moon. I mean, the moon is right there.
So we're going to see the moon and the star.
Now, can you guys name some of the planets? What's the one closest to the sun?
Our scientist people are on vacation.
That's okay.
Joshua, do you know what the planet is that's closest to the sun? Remember we made those stickers with it last week? No, Mars is right by Earth. Which one?
Vegas.
No, Mercury.
We're going to get to show you
And then
Mercury
Venus
today.
after that. Venus is after that.
Yeah, we can actually show you Mercury today. Now, we're real lucky because Mercury is right close to the sun and it's going around real fast, okay? And most of the time, at least about half the time, it's behind the sun. And since we can't look at the sun because it hurts our eyes, we can if we do put special equipment on the telescope, which we don't have yet. But the Mercury is sometimes on the other side of the sun, so we can't see it. But today, it's out away from the sun and far enough out from the sun. Now, it's kind of hard to see, but you'll be able to see it. And what's fun about it is it looks a little bit like a tiny crescent moon. You know what a crescent moon means? It means like a little man in the moon, a little sliver of moon. Well, Mercury right now has a moon phase, has a phase where the light is only lighting a portion of it, and it looks like a little crescent moon in the sky. So we're going to get to show you Mercury today also. So we've got the sun, which we can't show you safely because it's just too bright. We have a planet called Aldebaran, which is a very, very bright red star, but you won't be able to tell it's red today. You would be able to tell it was red at night tonight. And then we're going to show you Mercury. Now, once again, remember everybody, and I keep saying this, and I say it even to every age group, remember this place was all built by volunteers. It took us about a total of 3 years. The first 2 years to plan it, and 1 year to build it. We built it for less than $50,000, which is not a whole lot of money for this size of facility, because most everything was donated, and all the labor, all the people came in here and worked on it. Even some kids your size came and worked on it at that time.
Cool.
Got any questions about anything I've said so far, guys? Okay. Now, how long do you want this morning to be? Just another 20 minutes or so? Would that be fine?
Possibly.
Yeah. Is that a good
Another
number?
half hour.
Okay.
Max.
Okay. Cool. All right, guys. Oh, I forgot to tell you, we're on TV. Why do we have TVs? Well, the answer is, in a few weeks, the kids were going to be using our telescope in our facility via the internet. In other words, they'll be able to, their computer, wherever they are in the world, sit down to their computer and tell our telescope to go look at something, and the telescope will look at it and take a picture and send the picture back to them, wherever they are on the Earth. And that's called remote astronomy, and we're very near. This is not a new thing; it's being done quite a bit right now. But we'll be doing that soon.
Why do you have lines to the stars?
Oh, those lines make up what they call the constellation lines. In other words, somebody made up lines, and they kind of look like things. You know, like dogs and like men with a sword.
We did that last week. We had a paper and connected the stars together and made pictures.
Do you know who Leo is, Chris?
Leo. Let's see here. Why don't I
Look at that.
tell you what? I'll give you this. Oh, actually,
So that would be very exciting for any student that wanted on their own internet to find out anything about astronomy or any star. They could contact this place and they would take a picture of the telescope and print it back.
by arrangement, by appointment.
Right.
Yeah. Most of our remote users are going to be classrooms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very interesting.
Yeah. But anyway, the reason why we have TVs, the reason why I was going there was that we're going to take little snapshots of the TV stuff and put it out on the internet so that the kids out there can watch the kids here. And they can actually see, you saw one of the pictures right there. There's 3 cameras in here. There's a camera looking outside the door for security reasons. And there's a picture of our telescope up in the dome. And then some more pictures inside. So does anybody want to go upstairs and look at the telescope? Let's see the star. Okay, let's go.
Stand up and follow Samantha's house first.
This big steel thing that you see here is what's holding up the telescope. And we're going to let Carolyn go on by here.
Here's a picture of the stars in her.
Actually, those are lights on the Earth.
The lights on the earth.
Yes,
Lights on the earth here.
Yeah, and we actually have a problem called light pollution. You know, you've heard of air pollution? Yeah. Well, astronomy has a problem called light pollution, where there are so many lights that are on the ground now, it's causing us to not be able to look up very well. Come on up, guys. Now you can hold on to the...
No, we do not hold hands. We don't want to hold hands.
Now, in California, when he passed away, his family decided that this telescope would be best used by kids. And so he donated it to a group, and they made it available to us. So this telescope was owned by a gentleman out in California, and he used it for 30 years, the telescope, and then donated it.
Cool, that's wonderful.
And that's what actually started the whole project.
Great.
Now, the thing that you're in around us is called a dome.
Okay,
This
this
big
is
thing
the
above
dome.
us,
It's not a bubble.
it's not a
It's a
bubble.
dome.
Yeah.
Everybody say dome.
No.
All right.
Okay, we know what that
And,
means.
and what it allows us to do is to have kind of like a room to keep our telescope in, so we don't have to stand out in the cold and the rain and so on. But now the dome moves. Now watch.
Watch. That's kind of like being in Star Trek or something, huh? Do that again.
Okay.
We're not moving,
Now-
just the roof is moving, the dome is moving.
Now, did you guys? I have a question for you
That's right,
now.
space.
Why do we turn the dome?
Why did he turn?
So that we can't get wet.
That's a good thing. Yep.
Good answer.
Do it again.
Nope. We'll do it some more here in just a little bit. But yeah, was that fun? Mainly we turn the dome so that we can get that opening in front of the telescope so the telescope can look outside.
So that's the window for the telescope.
Yep.
Look,
Now-
there's the moon.
Yep. Hey,
There's
yeah.
the moon.
When you
Your
guys
eyes
come
go
up,
on.
you want to look up there, you want to see. There's the
Moon's
moon
right
right
there.
up there. There's one question answered. Remember earlier we'd asked whether or not the moon was up. Okay.
Moon is still out there.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the moon through the telescope, and
What if it was a telescope?
it's not a smell-a-scope. That's silly.
Silly girl.
Let's see. I don't know exactly what we're going to have. Tell you what. Why don't you come up here and stand up here? We'll take a look and see if this is a good spot for you. There you go. Now you move your eye around until you see the moon. Can you see the moon?
Ah. Yeah.
Do you see craters? Do you see craters on the moon?
Let me see it.
Just give me a picture in a second.
Your turn.
Do you see
Be
the moon?
patient.
It's
Very exciting.
Might have to back up just a little bit.
Hi.
Is that neat, or are you going to see craters? Okay, let's start with mountains on the moon, and the sun is shining on those mountains and casting shadows. And So that's part of what you're seeing up there. Is that neat? Okay.
We don't see
Let's see. You
it.
see the moon?
She won't be able to see.
Is that neat? You see craters?
It's not your turn, it's your turn.
Do you see it?
It's a moon.
Is it a moon?
Yeah, sure.
Nope.
Big kids gotta look through too.
You need to stand still.
Cool. See all those craters, that's wiggles.
Let me double check. Yeah, it's shape.
Wiggles.
It wiggles in
She
her.
can't see. Step back a little.
Put your see it and move your eye around a little bit now.
And look in the center. Back.
Move around a little, and you'll see it. You see it, more and more of it.
Is it cool, Craig? I was a little
Very,
worried.
very easy. Craters, sky and stuff. Okay, cool.
You see the little craters? They look like little bubbles. Emily needs a turn too.
Emily needs a turn.
She needs a turn to see the moon and
You
the
see it,
stars.
Emily?
Yeah.
Put the telescope on a star. Now the star is not nearly as interesting as the moon because stars are so far away that they're just little specks of light. But what we want you to know is that you can actually see the star during the daytime. Okay.
We're going to see stars during the day. Stand quiet. Just
Now, guys, when you look in through here, you look right middle, absolute middle center. Now this is going to be a little harder. Right little speck of light sparkling back at you. That's a star called aldeberan.
see this first.
You see it? You see the bright
Well,
stars we were looking at was kind of easy to see because it was a bright speck in the background. But what you're looking for, like right now, is a tiny little crescent of the moon, and that's Mercury, and it's a long, long way. Don't push it on that, guys. It's a planet called Mercury.
It's Mercury. Remember, it's the one closest to the sun. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Is it real tiny?
Okay. Now this might be a little hard for some of you guys to see, but look right.
I actually threw myself.
Yep.
I saw three.
Did you? Yeah.
I saw three.
See this one?
I have to be a big guy.
See Juwan?
Okay. Let me
All
have a
right.
turn.
Yeah, it eventually goes out the hole in the very bottom down
Stay
there.
here by
Just
me.
like Emily.
The light bounces around and goes back down.
Tie your shoe. So that's how it works.
There's
Here,
three of
so
them.
probably 2 or 3. You see yourself, Josh?
There's three of them.
Yeah. You don't want to see yourself? Did you scare yourself?
Now the big
I
trick.
have to see a big kid.
Okay, some more things about telescopes, guys.
That's
Now
interesting.
you know that the Earth turns, right?
Okay, listen to his words.
Now you know that the Earth turns because the sun goes up and down, and it goes up over the top and back down the other side and all that stuff. Well, all of the stuff that's up there is not moving very fast. It's the Earth rotating that's causing the sun to go up and down. So we think the sun goes around the Earth, but actually we're going around the sun and the Earth is rotating. And that causes our weather and our different seasons of the year. It's hot in the summertime because the sun is overhead more during the day. In the wintertime, the sun is lower in the horizon and it's not above the horizon as much, so it doesn't have a chance to warm us up. And it's colder in the wintertime. Now the telescope is actually rotating right now. And I'm going to show you a little example. We're just going to move the telescope a little bit. It's not. Okay,
Pushes those buttons and makes it move.
now, if you guys will look right down here, you see the end of this little motor right here. You'll see that this stuff is turning, but real slowly. And that's causing the telescope to turn. Now you can't really see, it's kind of like the hour hand on your watch. If anybody remembers what an hour hand looks like. The hour hand, if you stare at it, doesn't look like it's moving, but it's actually going around once a day, or actually twice a day if it's a 12-hour clock. So the telescope is going around right now. It's actually turning very, very slowly, 1 revolution per day. And it goes 1 revolution per day the opposite direction the Earth is turning. And that's how we're able to look through the telescope and see the things up there and not have them move out of our eyepiece just because the Earth's rotating. Now the fun part about the whole thing is we stand here and watch the telescope long enough, we'll actually see it move this way, like this. But in reality, it's staying still and the Earth is turning around the telescope. It's just because we're standing on the part that's moving, it looks like it's moving. But the telescope is actually staying still and the Earth is turning around. That's kind of fun.
It's kind of interesting,